right here on brought to you by, there we go, RealNerdCorp.com, your one-stop shop for all things dumbass. Dumbass. It's a little pitchy, but I think it worked.
Yeah.
You know, when I elevated it, I wobbled a bit. I wobbled on the warbler, but it's fine. Chad Porto here, RealNerdCorp.com, Twitter, NERDCORP, Instagram, RealNerdCorp. If you like the show, listen to us on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/WrestlingUnderground, or youtube.com/The Wrestling Underground. You can also find us at RealNerdCorp.com. Look up past shows, listen to past shows, hang out with past shows, say hi to the past shows, and if they say hi back, run. Bye. Hi.
Hi.
Now we're just setting up for a joke that will pay off eventually. Joining me, as always, is the Scatman-Doo himself. He puts the 22 in 22 Boogaloo. He is Zachary Tyler Pew Pew Dongan.
How's it going, Jeff?
He is the riot in the Zoot Suit Riots. And I am the one who's telling you to throw back a bottle of beer. Zoot Suit Riots. Riots. That's going to be my wedding song. Whenever I get married, that's what we're getting married to. An ethnic riot. Yeah, that'll work. No, it won't. Anyway, so we're here to talk about Impact Wrestling. A solid show from the solid company. So we open up with Juan Edwards. That's his Bulgarian name. Taking on Trey Miguel. Apparently, Eddie's going to do a constant week of title challenges. Every week, he will put his belt on the line, which is a stark comparison to Tessa Blanchard's title run, where she defended it once in 5 months. But the pandemic. Listen, I'm afraid of the bird flu too. I'm buying up all the masks I can get because apparently hand sanitizer doesn't do shit. It got the masks. It's the masks. It's all the masks. So I'm going to get me 34 different pairs of masks. Most of which are going to be LA Park themed. And then I'm going to buy some lucha masks. I'm going to modify them bitches. And now I'm just going to go around as masked wrestlers my entire life. This is my new life. It's going to be a thing. But listen, you still got to try to live, yo. Especially when Impact has taken very strong precautions to ensure that everyone is safe. This is a company that is constantly dragged by its employees. At least was. And even the most outspoken of which, one you can say would argue would never be able to be gagged without her consent. Jordan Grace has never slammed the company for anything other than its professionalism. And that shit goes after everyone for everything. So you know that this company is taking its steps. So Tessa just didn't want to go. So yeah. I give Tessa 0 dimes because that's all she's worth at this point. Her legacy's fucked. She can rehab it anywhere she wants. I don't care. And Eddie Edwards wins, by the way. He beat Trey Miguel.
Thankfully.
Right? Like, that would have been... Oh, God. Oh, what a dick kick of that. Like that's some WCW 1999 Sting beats DDP only to lose the belt back to DDP in the main event. Oh, God. That was one of the worst Nitros of all time. I remember that night vividly. It was like right before or after Easter, and we had set up my dining room. For some reason, that's where the TV is in my house. I don't fucking know. So like I was sitting there at the dining room table, all kind of like spread out, watching the fucking not pay-per-view, but the Nitro, because it was like, because we did like a family dinner after the Thanksgiving dinner, so like we would do Thursday, then we would do Saturday. So like it wasn't weird that it was still up. It's only been up for like a day and a half. So like I was sitting there watching and going, I'm 12, I'm 13 maybe. And even I know then that was stupid. Mostly because I love Sting. And that's how you did them. You did them dirty. You did them dirty. Anyway, so next week, who do we know who's it's going to be next week?
We have not heard about who it's going to be next week. The only thing we got was after the match, EY came out and said, "We're fighting on my time," which it's like, then why did you come out in the first place?
Solid point. Survey says, bing! You were lost on your way to get a corn dog. Oh, look.
I mean,
Second answer. Look at that.
fair.
Hey, Eddie. I was looking for a corn dog. Dude, I don't want to fight you. We're going to fight on my time. My time. My time. I'm sorry. That was trying to be Triple H. Triple HGH. What about Zack Ryder? Moving on to Wrestler House. Wrestle House.
It's too bad. It's too bad EY and Triple H never got in a growl off while he was still there.
We don't know they didn't.
I mean, that's true.
You know, that's the interesting thing. So let me just say about this right now about Wrestle House. I no longer want it to be on Impact. Like I'm done with it being on its weekly television show. It needs its own hour of television. Damn it!
There it is. I was waiting for it.
So I love that there was like a narration. I was like, oh, I wonder who's doing the narration. And then like they go, hey, who was doing the narration? I'm like, I was just thinking that. And then fucking Tommy Dreamer in his worst suit comes down. It's actually not a suit. It's more of a leisure suit. He comes down. I'm like, oh my God, Tommy Dreamer's in a leisure suit. And then he's like, every good reality show needs a host. And do you know what you'll be competing for? $1 million. And everyone starts freaking out. And he starts doing the DX suck it.
Rosemary's just looking at him like,
no.
You know that's not true, Tommy.
No, that's not true. And then it's revealed that we don't know why everyone is there, but the house is not in Earth anymore. It's in purgatory with Abyss. So who was it? It was Johnny Swinger was standing there, and I think it was it
Taya was trying to leave.
Yeah, Taya. Taya opened the door to go out, and she saw flames, and then Abyss was there with a thing of thumbtacks. It was from his Asylum days, from like 2008, 2009. And then Johnny Swinger goes, "I knew that Miz arc wasn't in purgatory." What? What kind of nonsense is this? I love it. So basically, Rosemary and you were right last week. There was no trepidation about what Rosemary said. She was 100% on board the Virgin train. She was saltivating. I misread the initial facial cue. I thought she was annoyed. She wasn't. She was ecstatic.
Yes. All we got was Taya asking Rosemary why they're here, and she's just like, "We're gonna be here as long as it takes." Looks angrily at Bravo and viciously bites the apple. Like, I'm gonna get that soul juice out of you so hard.
So they're in purgatory until Johnny Bravo gets laid, so they're never coming back. The best part is when revealing whose house it actually was, because Ty's like, it's not my house, it's not Rosemary's house, it's not Johnny's house, it's not anyone's house. It's like, well, whose house is it? And Tommy goes, well, it's mine. And he goes, I invested in real estate. And then they all kind of just looked at him and he goes, what? I had to do something with those ECW checks before they bounced. And I forget who it was. I think it was like Alicia. She's like, you bought property in Chattanooga? It's fucking dumb. So they find out that there's only
there's 10 people in the house.
Yes, but only 5.
6 bedrooms.
Well, he says there's 5 bedrooms and I have 1. But we then see the wrestlers with Dreamer in one. So there might only be 5. Because the Deaners were bunking with Tommy.
True.
So we don't know how many bedrooms there are, but there are more wrestlers than there are bedrooms. And apparently, the beds are only big enough for one person, unless you're with Johnny Swinger, in which case you don't want to be with Johnny Swinger. So they start doing all this shenaniganry. We're gonna skip ahead in the episode and just cover all of Wrestle House right now. So at one point, they're all scrambling around looking for the rooms, and Crazy Steve and AC Romero run to the ring outside because apparently there's a ring now. And they both call dibs, so Tommy Dreamer, in the middle of like talking to someone, screams out like "wrestle" or what was it?
Wrestle time, match time.
Oh yeah, match time. That's what it was. And everyone's like, "What?" And then they all just show up outside, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And then they're like, "We need a ref." And Kylie's like, "I'll be the ref." And Taya heckles her the entire match. We need a new ref. You're awful.
It was so great.
Crazy Steve just like we can share the ring. It's big enough for the both of us. And AC's not having it, and eventually AC rolls up and gets the best of Crazy Steve, and AC gets the ring. Later on, we get another betting situation where the Deaners are trying to share a room. Cody's on the ground. Jake, something's in the bed. Cousin Jake, and Cousin Jake's snoring so loud it literally wakes himself up. So Cody and Jake start arguing about who gets the bed and who gets the room and who is snoring. But I saw the outline was there, but I didn't know who it was. So they're screaming at one another, and all of a sudden, someone underneath the blanket sits up, and it's Tommy goddamn Dreamer. He's been spooning Cousin Jake the entire time. He goes, "Guys, I'm trying to sleep. We will do this." He's like, "It's time. It's match time or something like that." And they're like, "Really?
Right now?"
Right now? He goes, "No, in the morning. I'm fucking tired." So then like all three get back into their sleeping positions, and then they cut right back to the morning where they go back to the ring. Oh, jeez. This is a great little match, too, because they're like, "I wasn't snoring. No, I wasn't snoring. No, you were snoring. No, you were snoring." And at this point, Alicia's the referee, and she's like, "I don't care who was snoring." Eventually, Jake gets the win, and I forget how. It was actually kind of cool. Oh, it was like a black hole slam, but he put a little extra mustard on it.
Yeah, and Alicia, the best part was Alicia declaring the winner. She holds up his hand and like, "I don't know which Diener you are, but Diener wins."
She's having some of the best moments in the Wrestle House.
Uh-huh.
We also find out that Johnny Swinger gets a bed before everyone, and he offers Kylie Ray and Susie an opportunity,
Yes.
but they turn him down. But so then he offers it to Crazy Steve, and he turns him down. He goes, "They call me crazy, not desperate." And Swinger goes, "I was talking to the monkey." And then later on, he's like, "The offer still stands." And Steve's like, "I thought you were talking about the monkey." "Oh, don't be a Mizark, crazy. Come on." So Steve then hatches a diabolical plan, which we can only infer by the creepy smile he puts on his face before we cut to black.
Yes.
Did I miss anything from this week's Wrestle House?
No, I think that was it. Oh, the room that Crazy Steve found last week, where he was like, "This is the best reality show ever." They dubbed it the Stooge Room.
Yes, that's right, and I loved it.
Where they will conduct their talk to camera interviews between segments,
Or where they'll stooge each other off. That's how it goes. The random ass addition to Tommy Dreamer made this so much better, and it was already pretty damn good.
Yes.
The only problem I foresee happening is getting everyone adequate time, but they probably gave this maybe 20 minutes across the episode.
They gave it a pretty decent amount of time.
So I can't hit on that too much. Mm-hmm. Although I will say that if I have to keep hearing Susie say "that's bad" every time something happens, Homie G's gonna put his fist through something.
Yeah, that's gonna get old real quick. I mean,
one would say that's bad.
I think Kylie Ray is gonna be a great part of this because. Much better than Susie, because unlike Susie, who just says "that's bad," Kylie actually has a personality.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I will say that I still think Susie has the better personality between her and Triple XL. because all they have is that they're two overly sized men, and their best bit was they couldn't fit through the door.
Well, don't undersell it. It wasn't their best bit. It was one of the best bits.
Fair.
I will always mark for slapstick comedy. Like, I can't not. Like, that's my jam. Like, jam that jam, gentlemen. By the by, kudos to AC Romero. Apparently, he's lost like 80 pounds in the last 9 months or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's drastically reduced in size. I will always rep for anyone attempting to make their lifestyle healthier. So kudos to you, Mr. AC. I do hope, because my hope is if he gets exponentially better the more weight he loses, he might be really good.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, because athleticism goes up when the amount of weight you're carrying goes down. I'm not saying you're going to turn into LeBron James. Like, he's no Michael Phelps. But he might be pretty good. We'll see.
Yeah.
Outside of the Wrestle House, we go on, and Hakeem Zayn is talking shit to TJP and Falaba, and they remind him, mask, 6 feet, social distancing. I like that TJP just put his arm out, and he's like, and Kenny waves at Rohit to be at the other end of his arm. Like, that was great. I dug it. But basically, he's like, you guys should go after the X Division titles, right, for the picking. And TJP's like, yeah, I don't really want to leave the tag team division to go, handle old Chris Bay. And then Rohit's like, nah, dude, you really should do it. And Palaba's like, and TJP went, what's that, Shaq? What's that, Scooby? We should go and investigate. Roll, Raggy.
Like Zoe Scoop.
I don't know how
we
we
got. Get the next title off of Chris Bay.
I don't know how we got there, but there we are. So then Rohit runs off to Chris Bay, and he's like, oh, TJP's talking some mad smack. And Chris Bay's like, That was it. That's the whole fucking segment.
That was it.
It looks like Rohit's going to be an actual stooge. I think next week we got an announcement that they're going to be facing each other, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess Rohit's going to be in Chris Bay's corner.
Well, he did tell Rohit that he wanted to have his back.
Yeah.
And Bay's like, I don't need your back. These two ladies got my front. And I was like,
Fair.
Gia Miller interviews Ace Austin, Madman Fulton, and they're like, yeah, hey, our buddies, the Reno of Scum, they're going to go and beat up the Good Brothers. And Madman Fulton's like, I'm 6'8". And Gia Miller's like, good for you, Madman. You know how tall you are. I'm making that up. Madman Fulton hasn't said anything in like 6 weeks.
And that's fine.
And that's a good thing. We then get a hype package of the Motor City Machine Guns taken from 2008. I know it's from 2008 because that's when they started doing the rain effects.
Yeah, you could definitely tell what time period that's from.
Granted, like, you couldn't tell because of them.
Right, because other than the hair, they look exactly the same.
Right, and mostly by the hair, I mean Saban's starting to a little thin. Like they basically look the same. Like Saban's a bit more compact than he was, but he's still jacked. He's no longer carrying the same kind of weight.
Yeah.
I think he changed his diet up. But everyone in 2008 had this rain effect promo. Sting, Matt Morgan, Kurt Angle, Abyss, the knockouts. But yeah, it's great. I loved it, and I never wanted it to leave, and I'm glad it's back. And even Shelly's like, I love being in the rain in my wrestling gear. I don't know if he's being facetious or not, but I loved it. Speaking of loving it, Josh Alexander's now the mouthpiece of the North because Ethan Page is so shook from losing that he can't actually speak anymore.
The man looked like he was about to cry.
On Twitter, Ethan Page is so upset that he's becoming the karate guy, Ethan Page, and he went and fought Jean-Claude Van Damme this week. It's as dumb as you think it'll be.
But did he win?
Does anyone ever win when they fight Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Hey man, Raul Julia could have.
See, if Raul Julia had just stuck to his guns and electrocuted the fuck out of him instead of trying to fist fight him.
With the rocket boots.
Yep, those rocket boots, man, they fucked up. So they're invoking the rematch clause, but it doesn't say when. We then get Katie Forbes, and like I'm trying not to be that guy with Katie Forbes. Like I'm trying, but we got 3 Katie Forbes segments. We got her going with Rob, and listen, I want Rob Van Dam on my television screen. For some reason, I'm actually all right with that. But if I have to hear her friend dress her voice, another fucking segment. Oh my god. So she did her whole, they're gonna see my pictures, hey, and then like she ran into Sami Callihan. She's like, I don't have to sign pictures for fans, hey. And I'm like, oh my god. And then she went out to the ring with Rob Van Dam to reveal her new photos, and she was like, oh, here's my new photos, hey. And I'm like, oh my god. So she had 3 segments, which is 4 too many.
The math checks out.
It's solid math. We get another great promo by EC3, but I do have to wonder what Impact is paying him because 3rd week in a row, same clothes. I'm starting to think the offers weren't there.
Well, technically, he's not signed to Impact, even though they keep airing his vignettes for whatever fucking reason.
Such a dumb concept. Now, if you say he's not signed yet, okay, because the implication is that you are bringing him in to sign.
Yes,
but that's not what you're saying.
They're saying that he's not on the roster.
Like Heath.
Yeah. I mean, at least Heath's makes sense. He just keeps finding his way into the building.
Can we just turn Heath into a baby? Not baby daddy. What was that Adam Sandler movie?
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. Can we just turn Heath into a Big Daddy joke? Heath Hop Anonymous. Oh my god, that's actually a great name. Heath Hop Anonymous. Heath. Heath shows up. He's like, "Hey Moose, you talk a lot of shit. I want that belt." And Moose is like, "All right, I'll kick a ginger. Don't think I won't." If he had actually said that, that would have been great.
That would have been awesome.
So then D'Amore's like, "Listen, kid, I like your moxie." And I'm sitting there going, "But I don't like your haircut, Scott. Get one." I got a haircut while wearing a mask. You can get one too, Scott. Come on. He goes, "I like your moxie. I like your gumption. You got some good gams on you."
Scott, you need to tone it down a little bit, man. Getting a little too personal.
You're going full AEW here, Scott. Don't ever go full AEW. But he basically says, "I like your style. If you can beat Moose next week, you're on the roster." So knowing how this company goes and how Heath's life has gone, Heath will be losing next week.
In like 30 seconds.
Yeah, he's going to get pump kicked once and then speared. Although Moose doesn't do a pump kick. He should. Everyone should do a pump kick. AKA a crane kick. AKA a standing bicycle kick. AKA the AKA. AKA FKA. AKA FKA. The FKA AKA. Who put the bam, the bam, bam, bam? Who put the wham and the wham and lamb and ding dong? Who is that man? I'd like to shake his hand. Kimberly versus Deanna Prazzo. Deanna Prazzo won. Kimberly is now 1-14. She is the 2002 Carolina. She's the 2001 Carolina Panthers. Good job, Kimber.
Oh, Kimber. Here's what I will say about this. To be completely fair to Kimber, this match I felt justified in what we said last week, in that before Deanna Purrazzo won the Knockouts title. There should have been weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of her just going out into the ring and dismantling people and ripping their arms off, so that she looks like a viable, legitimate threat. And she is, but if you done that for weeks, months build up, have her beat Jordan Grace the way she did, if not even more impressively, and then I feel like with what they're doing with Kimberly, as much as we'd like her to be on better footing, have Deanna win the match in 5 minutes, because she is not, while her technical and submission wrestling is fantastic, she is not looking like a dominant technical wrestler.
Nope.
So we need to work on this. It definitely didn't help that she had one match before she won the Knockouts title.
Yeah, gonna need to up your game on that one there, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, why? We're gonna get to Impact here in a second, but remember Cameron from the WWE?
Yes.
Now you can call her Cameron of AEW.
Wow, okay.
The woman's favorite match was like Melina versus... I don't even fucking care.
It was Melina versus Alicia Fox or some shit. Stone Cold. Who?
Seriously, Cody. I know you're all about that nepotism. Maybe don't be. Maybe don't be. Just saying. Post-match, Jordan Grace comes out in a sling. I love her new haircut with the ponytail and the bangs. I'm just... I don't know what it is about that girl's face, but I'm just like all about it. She comes down in the sling and she's like, hey, you want to see a neat magic trick? And Deanna's like, no, not really. And she's like, well, I'm going to show you one anyway. And Deanna's like, I said no. And then Jordan's like, all right. Watch the arm in the sling. I don't want to. Watch it. No. I said, watch it. And then she takes the arm in the sling and starts beating Deanna in the face with it. Deanna's like, this is the worst magic trick I've ever seen in my life. I make these segments better. Doesn't even matter if they're good or not. I make them better. Great segment, made better. Bad segment, made better. I make things better.
Yeah.
We then get a Brian Myers segment. I can't make everything better. If he comes in with some kind of pseudo-ass glacier gimmick, I'll give it a chance. I'm not even kidding. If he brings in that slick-ass face mask and like he calls himself like the Duke of Dumbassery or something like that, all right. He's like the Count of Monte Cristo. I don't fucking know. The Count of Gotham, the Gotham Count. Shit, that's a good nickname. God damn it.
I will say this. I mean, at least he's being cautious about the pandemic.
Kudos to you.
He's wearing that mask.
Yes, he is. He's wearing that mask. We then go backstage. Sammy approaches Ken Shamrock so they can discuss their tag team match. Shamrock can't think straight. Shamrock says he's leaving and he's not sure when he will return. No. Come back. I didn't know that was a segment. I must have missed that.
Yeah, that was part of like the first part of another Katie Forbes segment, because
that was the one
after Shamrock left, Katie Forbes came running up with Rob Van Dam, and she was like, it was him. He was the one looking at me.
Yeah, I missed that segment. So there was actually 4 Katie Forbes segments. which is 5 too many.
Uh-huh.
We then get the saving grace of Katie Thorpe segments because she comes out to reveal these hack-ass photos that we've all seen before. And then they all come out with Sami Callihan's face on them with his voiceover, and he's like, I'm a pretty, pretty princess. So apparently Sammy's a face now.
I mean...
I don't condone violence of any sort against anyone for any reason, unless it's in the self-defense of someone.
Right.
You know, World War II, completely justifiable. World War I, completely justifiable. Civil War, completely justifiable. Don't want to pay taxes on your tea, completely justifiable. So I don't condone violence of any sort unless there's a legitimate reason for it to exist. But if someone were to take a brick and smash Katie Thorpe's face in after she said free 99, I would put that on the same level of the Allies liberating Nazi-controlled Germany in terms of the greatest thing that's ever happened in the history of humanity. It was fucking ending of slavery, the unoccupation of Germany by the Allied troops, and it's smashing Katie Forbes in the face with a brick. Her voice is the worst thing in wrestling. And that's with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch's voice on the table. I feel like the dude from the Mighty Ducks in that episode of Psych. Remember the Tuesday the 17th?
No.
They went to Lake Tikihama. We literally talked about this last week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And Sean found out that his best friend Gus is hanging out with his old friend from camp. And Sean goes, "You guys are my least favorite tag team in the history of ever." And the guy who played Fulton in the Mighty Ducks goes, "Even with Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik on the table?" That's who I felt like in that moment, saying that about Becky and Seth.
I do remember. I definitely remember that.
Yeah, because Sean responds with, "Wow, you went there." So the Rascals invited Suicide into the treehouse.
Because Trey's nowhere to be found.
Right, Trey's having a bad day with his loss. Zach doesn't like the idea, but Dez assures him it's fine. We then see Suicide getting totally wasted, and Wentz thinks this is adorable, and now Dez has his own concerns. I think he even says this was a mistake.
He says, you are the worst Power Ranger ever.
Yeah, that's right, because he's like, I invited a Power Ranger. Now, I don't know who it was, but he was clearly not Suicide because he wasn't even zipped in properly.
He definitely was not.
Wasn't even the right suit.
No, that was like the old Suicide suit.
Yeah. I think they knew it was gonna ruined.
Yeah, probably.
So.
The effect of the smoke coming through the mask was pretty solid.
That wasn't an effect. That was legit. They literally did that. I would bet my bottom dollar. So then we get see this, I fucking laughed at this so hard. So usually they're like, The Rock's here, via satellite, but it's actually just a tape segment from like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so cool. This time they're like, Swan's here from Skype. I'm like, don't you mean from the back? And then they're like, Swan, you're going to be here next week, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm totally going to be there. I'm like, so he's in the back. I'm being a jackass. I don't mind that they're like, he's not here because they're trying to keep the idea that, every week they come to shoot and they don't just film 7 shows at once. It's like, I'm fine with it. I'm just being a smartass. It was fine, though. I didn't, Swan to me is kind of hit or miss on promos. When he goes like full crazy-eyed Swan, I feel like he has something. But when he's all like, I'm super sad and depressed, emo Swan. I like Ohio is for lovers. Cut my wrist and black my eyes. Yeah, we get it. You're into emo rock, Swan. Calm down. 'Cause my heart is in Ohio. Remember that song? That song was terrible. Fucking Hawthorne Heights. Hawthorne Heights was awful. Ohio, why did we get so big into the emo craze? Why? They're from Ohio.
Are
Ugh.
they really?
Yeah, Hawthorne. Yeah, Hawthorne Heights is in Ohio City.
Ah,
They're like, we're gonna name it after the town we're in, and that was like the whole shtick of the emo. Like we're like everyone's like Pensacola or like Little Rock rejects or like the Davenport dumbasses.
I didn't know Seth Rollins had a emo.
Are you kidding me? Look at that motherfucker. That dude used to have yellow hair. Like, he used to have like a yellow stripe in his hair. That dude was emo. I don't mean music. I mean his entire essence was emo. Anyway, Swan's like, and everyone's like, oh my God, we're so glad you're on Skype, because that way we can hang up on you. Yeah. We then go to the main event, the Reno Scum versus the Good Brothers. And it's a good match.
It's a good match.
Not great, but good.
Yeah.
Apparently, Adam Thorne still can't shave his head until December, I think he said. He made a bet with someone. Probably his son. His son can do fucking pull-ups. His son's like 6 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, he can do like fucking 3 at 6. Zach can't do 6 at 3. That made sense somehow. Don't worry about it.
Did it?
Shut up. So post-match, we get a brawl with Ace Austin and Sawyer Fulton. Reno Scum's apparently just looking for them corn dogs because they don't show up at all. And someone hit...
Ace Austin didn't pay him enough for the after brawl.
Right? They didn't even get enough for the goddamn corn dogs, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
The cameraman gets hit, the feed goes dark, and we don't get any post segments for the first time in 10
post segments
months.
done.
I don't know if they're done or if they're just not on this week. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I feel like the post segments were there just for the build up to Slammiversary, right? Was there one last week?
Yeah, Heath Slater snuck into the building.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I'm thinking.
I guess you take out one cameraman, the entire thing goes dark.
What was that line? You kill one. Oh no! You kidnap one attorney and everyone loses their mind or something like that. What was that line from Dark Knight?
If I say that one little mayor will die, then everyone loses their minds.
Impact Television Production 2020. One little cameraman loses his footing, you all lose your minds. Overall, good show.
Yeah.
Wrestle House carried the segment, the showcasing. Even the matches on Wrestle House were good.
Yeah, they were. They were very entertaining.
EC3 promo and what was the other one? The Treehouse promo. That was good stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Outside of the Wrestle House, the best match was probably Eddie and Trey, but I don't think that was as great as it could have been.
Yeah.
Personal observation. Then again, I think Trey is also still trying to combine the idea of his ultra athleticism with working. And I don't think he's found that balance yet.
Mm-hmm.
He's young, though. He's like 25, so I'm not worried about it. He'll get there. Overall thoughts on this week's show?
Yeah, I gotta agree. It was for no other reason than the Wrestle House segments were very, very entertaining. Yeah, all the matches were solid, but nothing ultra spectacular. I will say, if Rich Swann comes out next week on crutches, and then as soon as EY comes out, he's like, "Psych, don't need him. I'm gonna kick your ass," the same way Jordan Grace did this week. I'm gonna be a little perturbed.
Little perturbed, little miffed.
Now, I mean, I thought when Jordan Grace came out, the sling off, I was like, they made one passing reference to her shoulder being separated last week, and then we get this. you couldn't play that up a little bit more, a little bit longer.
Well,
So
it might be played off like her arm is still fucked, but she's so angry she doesn't give a fuck.
that's true. She was still selling it after beating down Deonna Purrazzo, which also reminds me, just the just I have to, every time the commentary just completely fails a segment. It was during the Deonna Kimberly match. Kimberly goes for a bridging German suplex pin, but she has to release it because her arm's already been worked on and it's failing her. And she goes through the whole thing. She sells it completely, and I think it's right after that she taps out. But both Josh and Madison completely missed it. Called it Deonna kicking out, which she did not, and paid no attention to Kimberly selling the arm injury.
Well, that's what happens when you're playing 22 skidoo underneath the table while you're filming.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, that's not a very family-friendly game.
No, it's not.
I am looking up 22 skidoo because I have no idea what the fuck it is.
Yeah, commentary used to be about selling the storyline of the match, as well as the overall storyline that, is going on with the wrestlers, but mostly in context of the match. And we don't really do that.
No. So 23 skidoo, not 22 skidoo, but I'm still going to say 22 skidoo because it's 22
I mean, it rhymes.
22 skidoo sounds better than 23 skidoo. So 22 skidoo
it does.
Is an American slang phrase popularized during the early 20th century. It generally refers to leaving quickly, being forced to leave quickly by someone else, or taking advantage of a propitious opportunity. Propitious?
What?
What is that word? Propitious? Propitious?
I need to know what word you're looking at.
Giving or indicating a good chance of success. Propitious.
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 Propitious?
I've never heard of that word before. I learned something new today. A propitious opportunity to leave, that is. Getting out while the getting's good. The exact origin of the phrase is uncertain. 23 skidoo has been described as perhaps the first truly national fat expression and one of the most popular fat expressions to appear in the U.S., to the extent that pennants and armbands at shore resorts, parks, and county fairs bore either 23 or the word skidoo. Skidoo. Huh. Welcome to Making a Skidoo. Well, we're going to 22 skidoo out of here. Any final thoughts on this week's Impact?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
You're joining us tomorrow.
Correct.
Your reading schedule has just gotten more condensed. And we'll explain off the air.
Okay.
We already did the website. We already did the socials. Our woman crush this week was Alicia. Our wrestler of the week was some jabroni. Who was it, Zach?
Let's take a look, shall we?
It was the Good Brothers.
Wrestler of the week were the Good Brothers.
So we're good. We're done. Zach can be found over on his Instagram and DeviantArt pages at Radiance2020. RADIANCE2020. You can find me on Twitter at Chad NerdCorp, ChadNerdCorp, and on the Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut. I think that's it. I think we're good. Tune in next Wednesday. Twitch.tv/Wrestling Underground for another edition of Making an Impact, and every Wednesday henceforth. He's Zach, I'm Chad. Tune in next week 9-ish p.m. right here. Say goodnight, Zach.
Don't get in bed with Johnny Swinger.